Hello again and welcome to our regular monthly update, this time covering figures for the month of June 2014. During the month of June, we welcomed a record 3.18 million visits from overseas, that's up 10% on June of last year. It was also a record month in terms of visitor spend at just less than £2 billion, 4% up on last year. So we now have figures for the first half of this year, and we can celebrate the fact that there was a record 16.4 million visits from overseas, 8% up on the equivalent period of 2013. How much those visitors spent during the first half of this year was £8.92 billion, very fractionally up on last year. Now let's take a look at how individual markets have been performing in the year to March, starting with some European markets. For the very first time in a rolling 12-month period, there were more than 4 million visits from France. That was 5% up on the equivalent period a year before. Neighbouring Germany saw an even more impressive increase at 10%, taking the tally to 3.3 million. From Italy, we also see a 10% year-on-year growth with 1.7 million visits. And lastly, for Europe, visits from the Netherlands were up 9% to 1.9 million. All the indications are that during the peak summer months of this year, we've continued to enjoy strong growth from Western Europe. Now let's take a look at some key long-haul markets. Visits from Australia continue to do well, with an 8% growth, taking the tally to 1.1 million. One of our nurture markets that has been performing particularly well in the past year or so is Malaysia. 170,000 visits from that market is up an impressive 43% on the year before. Visitors from Saudi Arabia spend much more than does the average visitor once they are here, and we can see that there has been strong growth in the year to March with an 8% increase. Finally, visits from South Korea also continued to do well, with a 4% annual growth, so 190,000 visits from South Korea to Britain in the past year. You can find much more analysis of individual markets and indeed inbound tourism by journey purpose and much more by looking at our website visitbritain.org. Next month we'll take a look at provisional figures for July 2014, and we'll also explore trends in Britain's international tourism balance of payments. So until then, bye bye.